Good day everyone. Myself M. Pooja Devi and I am studying in Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Madurai. Today I am going to explain about the experiment number 4, V and inverted V curves of three-phase synchronous motor. So at first I will explain the objective and theory behind the concept, then we will see about how to do this experiment. Without any delay, let's get into the video. Okay, now we will see about the objective of this experiment. The aim of this experiment is to study the effect of variation of field current upon the stator current and power factor with synchronous motor running at no load as well as full load. Then hence to draw V and inverted V curves of the three-phase synchronous motor. So this is the objective of this experiment. Now it's now coming to the theory behind the concept. Actually, a three-phase synchronous motor which converts the electrical input to the mechanical output. Here, a three-phase supply is given to the stator of the synchronous motor and a DC supply is given to the rotor of the synchronous motor. Once a three-phase supply is given to the synchronous motor, RMF is produced at armature and which runs at synchronous speed. And rotor with the help of prime mover which rotates with slightly lesser than the synchronous speed. There is a difference between these two speeds that collectively known as relative speed or slip speed. So this relative speed is responsible for the back EMF that's set up in the armature. So this back EMF is opposite to the supply voltage. And synchronous motor which works on the principle of magnetic locking, and due to presence of AC on the armature and DC on the field winding, this synchronous motor is referred as doubly excited machines. Now we will see about how to do this experiment. Actually, here we are using a virtual lab to explore this experiment. And okay, here I am just drag and paste this experiment here. So this is the overall circuit diagram for this experiment, V curves and inverted V curves of the three-phase synchronous motor. At first I will explain the components briefly, then we will do the experiment. So here the given machine is under the consideration is a Salient pole synchronous motor, and here a short circuit or aluminum damper bars are put in the rotor side to make it as self-starting. And here a three-phase supply which is given to the stator of the synchronous motor with the help of this TPST. TPST is nothing but a triple pole single throw switch, and this is the auto transformer. This auto transformer is used to vary the this three-phase voltage up to our desired voltage. And this is the power factor meter which used to measure the power factor for this synchronous motor. And here this is the resistive load bank, and with here at first we seen no load condition, then we will loading the synchronous motor by using this resistive load bank. At first now it is in the open condition, which means we are using this synchronous motor at no load, and this is the DC shunt generator. With that DC shunt generator we can drive the electrical load, and this is the shaft. With the help of this shaft we can rotate the rotor. And here the ratings of the DC generator and synchronous motor is given, and this is the DC voltage, and with the help of this rheostat we can adjusting the field current. So this DC voltage is given to the rotor of the synchronous motor. So I'll explain all the things. So now we will do the experiment. So at first I'll close this switch to give the three-phase supply to the synchronous motor, actually stator of the synchronous motor. Actually this is the tachometer. With the help of this tachometer we can measure the speed. Okay, now I will adjust the auto transformer to varying this phase voltage up to rated voltage. So here the rated voltage is given, armature rated voltage is 415 voltage. So I am just using this auto transformer to varying the stator voltage. So here you can see that whenever I am increasing the voltage, the current is also get increases. At that same time the synchronous there is a rotating magnetic field created at stator. that rotating magnetic field also, that speed also get increases. Okay, so I'm just keep on increasing up to the rated voltage. Now it's 245 voltage. Okay, yeah, it's almost now we get the rated voltage. Here you can see that here I already explained, once the three phase supply is given to the stator, there is a rotating magnetic field created in the stator and which rotates at synchronous speed. But here the that RMF which slightly lesser than the synchronous speed. Actually, how to calculate the synchronous speed means, here the speed of the motor is not given, so we can use the information given here, number of poles and frequency, we can calculate the value of ns. So that can be calculated by 120 f by p. If you calculate that value, we get 1500 rpm. But here the RMF which runs at only 1495, which means here we are not giving any because here the rotor is not rotating. Here there is a no field supply is given to the rotor. So so whenever there is a field current that present in the rotor, in that time only that RMF that attain the synchronous speed. So now I will close this switch, so and keep on increasing the old current. So once we are increasing the field current, so you can see well the power factor is get increases as well, and at the same time the stator current get decreases. So at first I am just increasing the field current. Here you can see that once I give the, actually this field current is almost equal to 0, but once the field current that present in the synchronous motor, that speed is up to ns. And here you can see well whenever I am increasing the field current, here the stator current get reduces, but at the same time power factor get increases. For showing the graph, I am just storing the data. Okay, so keep on I am increasing the current for the reference and show the data. So at every point you noticed that the stator current get reduces and the power factor get increases. And also please noted that here the synchronous motor which operates under the no load condition, we are not adding any load to it. Okay, so I am just to keep on increasing the current. Here you can see well it almost reaches the unity value. Okay, so once it reaches the unity, once the synchronous motor operates under the unity power factor, and beyond we if we are increasing the field current, in that point that stator current is directly proportional to the field current, but whereas the power factor is inversely proportional to the field current. So once before it reaches the unity power factor, it's vice versa. Field current, stator current is inversely proportional to the field current, power factor is directly proportional to the field current. So once we shown in the graph, you can clearly understand. Here you can see well keep on I am increasing the field current, the stator current get increases, the power factor get reduces. This shows the V and inverter V curves. Okay, so I keep on I am increasing the field current, this current is also get increased. Yeah, it's almost it's coming to 0. Sorry, I'm keep on here the rated current is up only 4.12 ampere. So I'm just with that I'm stopping here because the stator current that attained 4.06 ampere. So now we will see the graph. So the relationship between that field current and armature current. I am just generating the graph. Here you can see that we obtained the V curve. Okay, so here from this point to this point, that armature current is inversely proportional to field current. But once the motor that reaches the unity power factor, or that motor that operates under the unity power factor, with that beyond the value of this field current, the armature current is inversely proportional to, sorry, it's directly proportional to the field current. Actually, from the for the unity power factor, that corresponding armature current is minimum, and beyond this value, that armature current get increases up to the rated current. Here we are obtaining only the rate up to rated current, because here the given current is 4.2 ampere, so I am just stopping here. So now I am generate, this is known as the V curve, and now I am generating inverted V curve that given that shows the relationship between field current versus power factor. So I am just plotting those two curve, generating the curve. Yeah, here you can see that this is the inverted V curve. Okay, so it's actually here from at first the power factor, which is directly proportional to the field current, whenever we are increasing the field current, the power factor is also get increases. But once it reaches the unity power factor, after that value, the power factor is inversely proportional to field current. From 0 to this unity power factor, from 0 to this peak, here actually from 0 to this peak, the synchronous motor which operates under the lagging power factor, once it reaches the unity power factor, after that the synchronous motor that operates under the leading power factor. So actually in a load curve, in a load condition also we get the same curves, but only one difference is that, means actually here we get a very narrow and sharpened curve. Okay, here you can see that it's very narrow and it's very sharpened at the peak side, and here also this graph shown like this only. Yeah, here also it is slightly very narrow, but if you are adding load to the synchronous motor, so actually there is a large amount of current is required to obtain the power factor. So that in that time we got the curves which is slightly wider than the no load curves. So I will show that also. Okay, I think you understand very clearly. Just to keep in the mind, armature current is directly proportional to motor field current at the leading power factor, whereas it's inversely proportional to when it's under the lagging power factor. At the same time, we can obtain the minimum armature current at the unity power factor, but in a low excitation and high excitation, we get the maximum armature current. So this is the conclusion, and now we will see about load at a load condition. Okay, this is the overall circuit diagram for the V curves and inverted V curves of the three-phase synchronous motor at loaded condition. Actually, here this is the circuit diagram. It's same as the before one. The difference is here a resistive load. Actually, here this is the pure resistive load which is added to the synchronous motor with the help of this DC shunt generator. The purpose of this DC shunt generator, before I mentioned, actually now also I recall that here the DC shunt generator is used to drive on the electrical load, and and other things are remain same. Here we are using that the procedure which I have done in the no load condition is also same as for load condition. So I'm already collecting all the information here. So I am just generating the graph between field current and armature current. Now you can see, well, yeah, here it also shows the V curve. uh, it's a previous one, it's like it's similar to the previous one. At first, up to unity power factor, that armature current is inversely proportional to field current, and after the unity power factor, that armature current is directly proportional to the motor field current. But the difference is in a no load curve we got a slightly a narrow curve, but here it's a slightly a wider curve, because Whenever we are adding a load to the synchronous motor, there is a some amount of current, stator current, which flows through the load side, so that there is a some large amount of required field current is required to obtain the unity power factor. So now I am generating the inverted V curve, that's the relationship between a field current versus power factor. I am just generating the graph. Yeah, here also you can see, well, it's a slightly less wider inverted V curve. So here also the concept is remains same. Whenever it's up to the unity power factor, the power factor is directly proportional to the field current. But once it reaches the field current, sorry, once it reaches the unity power factor, which is inversely proportional to the motor field current. Uh, and also I want to say that from 0 to that unity power factor, the synchronous motor which operates under the lagging power factor in here, and also in the no load side, in a no load also. But once it reaches the unity power factor, after that we are the synchronous motor which operates under the leading power factor. So this is the concept about overall concept about this experiment. And actually I hope can all understand how this V and inverted V curves are obtained in no load and load also. I hope all you can understand this concept very well. And this is about this experiment, and thank you so much.